Ladies and gentlemen, I present you the new NZXT H7 FLOW RGB case, a case you can't mistake for any other because it is unique. It features several new things that NZXT introduced, but of course a quick word from our sponsor and I'll show you everything about this case in detail. Looking for affordable Windows or Office keys? Look no further, I got you covered. Head over to scdkey.com, pick your Windows edition, use my discount code LE25 to get a 25% on any Windows or Office products. Once you complete your order, after a few seconds you will receive your code. In Windows, go to Settings, there should be an Activate Windows prompt at the bottom. Click that, enter your code and wait for Windows to finish activation. To check the activation status, use the command prompt with the command slmgr.vbs/xpr and you should receive a notification that the machine is permanently activated. Once again, use code LE25 at scdkey.com. This here is the H7 FLOW RGB version, meaning it comes with RGB fans, but not your old regular Uncle Bob fans. No, these are something new. You can see them through the front mesh panel that also serves as a dust filter. Speaking of the panel, this is that perforated high-performance mesh without any additional filters for better airflow. On the bottom of the mesh panel there is a large NZXT branding, subtle but it's there, and of course removing the panel is super easy as usual. No tools required. You can now see the new fans, or should I say one fan or one block of fans, or F360 core RGB fans. First of all, they sit on a rail that is removable using 2 thumb screws, so mounting fans in the front is super easy. Number of fans that can fit here in the front is up to 3 140mm fans and of course up to 420mm in radiator size, which is awesome. Now let's get back to the fans. These are the new F360 core RGB fans. It's a single block of fans combined into one unit with only one cable exiting on a side and light strips on both sides. This is not done just for the looks. These fans are actually really quiet and good performing fans as well. Being 360 in size, this corresponds to 3 120mm fans, so having only one cable on them makes cable management super easy. Speed of these fans ranges from 500 up to 2400 RPM. They have a great static pressure of 3.3mm H2O, which makes them suitable for AIOs. The airflow is rated up to 75.12 CFM and they are PWM controlled and are super quiet even at higher RPM. Maximum noise is around 30 decibels. The ones in the front that come with this case are the case version of the same fans, slightly slower at 17,000 RPM max, and these are 3-pin models. Nonetheless, they are quiet and perform great too. Getting to the side of the case is as easy as it gets. A PEG system for the tempered glass panel, and it also has an additional security here in the bottom, including 2 metal pins, so no accidental drops can happen. Glass is 4mm thick and has a slight dark tint to it. The interior is of course huge, like monster huge for a case that fits into a mid-tower category. The exterior dimensions are 544 high, 244mm wide and 468mm deep. But there are some new things here, something out of the ordinary. As you can see, the PSU shroud is there, but it's not your regular PSU shroud, since there is a recessed hole in the bottom for 3 120mm fans or one block of the new F360 core RGB fans. The PSU shroud is like half size here, and the case utilizes roots from the dual chamber design cases, but it is not a dual chamber design case at all. But the PSU is mounted behind the motherboard tray, or actually below it, so it's a vertically mounted PSU. The interior is awesome for super clean and easy building. Cable cutouts are present around the motherboard tray, all in that places that matter, and they are hidden, not visible directly, hence no rubber grommets on them. Of course, the cable column or the bar is present here in the middle with NZXT branding. On the lower section, this is the homage to the old H7 series of the cases, but it also serves to hide the big hole for the cables that goes around the back of your motherboard. You can fit up to extended ATX boards here, and of course all subsequent sizes. Judging by this monstrosity of the GPU here, you can safely say that you can fit any GPU here. You have 410mm of clearance for that and around 185 for the depth of your GPU, as well for the CPU heatsinks you can fit all of that here. Floor-mounted fans will supply fresh air to any GPU you decide to use. And you can of course notice that the case has got no traditional feet. It has this elevated compartment for the bottom-mounted fans, while every other part of the case lays flat on your desk. At first this is a little bit unusual and hard to lift the case from the desk, but it does look cool and you'll get used to it real quick. At the rear you can mount up to 140mm fans in size, which is a very welcome change from 120mm fans. And for the occasion I got the new F-Quiet series of fans mounted here as well. This is the NZXT F120Q fan with fluid dynamic bearings. It has awesome airflow, 74.28 CFM and static pressure of 1.43mm of H2O, and it has also a PWM control and goes up to 1800 RPM with a maximum noise of only 25 decibels. Impressive nonetheless, since previous NZXT fans were so darn loud. So moving to the top of the case, here you can mount up to 3 120mm fans and up to 2 140mm fans, which is automatically translated to 360mm in radiator support here up top. The top also has that high performance mesh, no additional ugly dust filters, since this is more than enough to act as a dust filter as well. The I/O panel is positioned up top and it's sitting flush with the top panel. It includes a white illuminated power button, 2 NZXT purple colored USB 3.0 ports, single USB-C port and a headphone and mic combo jack. Back side of the case reveals the already mentioned fan mounting position for 120 or 140mm fans, with sliding rails for fan movement up or down in case the AIO block sits up top or similar. The classic I/O shield cutout is present here. PCI brackets do not have a bar between them, so mounting GPUs vertically with aftermarket holders is possible as well here. You can see that the PSU is mounted vertically and from the inside of the case without the use of the external brackets. So moving to the rear side of the case, high performance mesh once again on the side, so the motherboard area and hard drive caddies, but also PSU can have access to the fresh air from the outside. This here is the removable hard drive caddy that supports either two 3.5 or two 2.5 inch drives. There is a smaller one in the bottom as well. Two 2.5 inch drives can be also fitted here. And here are your I/O panel cables, of course. So regarding the cable management here, in this case things are super tidy. Cable zip tie points with Velcro straps literally spread out everywhere, and cable hooks and channels, metal ones I might add. So looks like someone really thought about it all and made everything according to the builders and users, and not just so it could be there without the function. So there is even a place for the controller. It says place controller here, so don't mind if I do. Oh, by the way, this is an RGB V2 controller and you'll need this one for the F-Core fans, of course. In the accessory box you have screws packed like this. I don't know if this was intentionally done to remind you of something or not, and you have several zip ties here as well. This case is available in either black or white color, and of course as a regular or RGB variant. $129.99 for the regular model and $149.99 for the RGB model. Honestly, for this type of case I thought that price would be higher. So price aside, how does it perform? Do all of these fans do anything, or is it all just a gimmick? So this is the hardware I used here, NZXT N7 B650E board that goes beautifully well with this case, following that NZXT design language, Ryzen 7 7800X3D CPU, 32GB of Team Group RAM, and Asus TUF RX 7900 XTX OC GPU, and Kraken 360 Elite AIO, and power supply is the latest NZXT C1500 Platinum model, boasting the latest ATX 3.1 and PCIe 5.1 standards. With plenty of juice for the latest components while delivering 0 decibels of noise thanks to the 0 RPM fan mode, and even if the fan powers on, it's extremely quiet since it comes with magnetic levitation fan. But have no fear, it won't even turn on until 900 watts of load is pulled from your PC. I don't have to tell you anything about the temperatures here, the picture says more than 1000 words. You can see on the screen yourself that in gaming, while gaming, GPU goes maximum up to 60 degrees and hovers from 58 to 60 degrees even after longer gaming sessions. CPU on the other hand is crazy, given the fact that all Ryzen 7000 CPUs are at least strange. So idle is 41 degrees, while gaming temperatures range from 55 to 66 degrees. Seriously, there is just mildly hot air coming at the top through the AIO, and clocks are always above 5 GHz, cause that matters here the most with Ryzen CPUs. All in all, the system is very quiet even at full loads like rendering and similar. NZXT did up the quality and a lot with the cases. I already mentioned this in the previous H6 FLOW review. Things are only better here. There is, of course, no mistake that this is the NZXT product. It follows that sharp edge design with subtle curves here and there, and all done so well that it blends to the overall design. The new F-Core RGB fans are super nice, they are not noisy, they do perform well. Everything is actually integrated into the NZXT CAM software for super easy control of RGB fan curves and such, lighting. So regarding the bottom recessed fans, this is a super nice option. This is borrowed from the H6 FLOW with rubber decouplers as well to prevent the vibrations. It is elevated enough from the desk here, so more than enough to supply the GPU with fresh air. But there is something borrowed from the classic dual chamber cases. It's the PSU placement. This is executed here so flawlessly, if you ask me. It retains space inside of the main chamber with directed airflow here in the front from front fans thanks to its curvy shape in the front. As I said, flawless execution. I forgot to mention that cable management in this case is super easy. I had a blast while building this PC and zero issues or remarks regarding the cable management, opposed to the H6 FLOW in which cable management is just a pile of mess. So 10 points to Gryffindor, I mean NZXT here. My recommendation is to go with the RGB model of this case, then get additional F-Core RGB fans to be in the same fan ecosystem. You have a great cooling potential here with up to 10 fans. Large fans as well, I mean you have a great foundation with this case. How you decide to build your system or which fans to use is of course up to you. So sub to the channel guys, like and share the video, and stay tuned as there will be some reviews of some NZXT peripherals like this new Lift 2 Ergo mouse and the Function 2 keyboard. Of course, if you have any questions, now is the time to ask them down below. I'll see you in the next one.